Hello again. I hope that everyone is doing well. This blog is called Liberation from Torment, and it's pretty heavy. So there have been about 2 or 3 people who started rolling around on the ground and yelling. I asked my pastor Jason why they were doing that, and he said that they were probably demons trying to distract other people from hearing the gospel. But nothing ever really came of them. They would just get up before we were done preaching and then walk away. Well, a few days ago, we were praying for probably a couple hundred people after one of our meetings, and about 10 feet away from me, a woman began screaming. The leader of the ministry that we were with and our Indian interpreter, they laid their hands on her and began praying for her, but more they were actually just restraining her because she was flailing all over the place. For about 20 minutes she was just yelling and gnashing her teeth and speaking in different languages. I mean, they were all different to me, so I wasn't really sure. She was just saying a lot and screaming and yelling. It just seemed like she was going through so much suffering. And more suffering than I've ever seen anyone go through. And just seeing her like that, it literally brought tears to my eyes. And the level of compassion that I felt for her, I'd never felt for anyone before like that. I remember thinking, I can't imagine what God feels. Just seeing his creation that he loves more than anything in the universe, just being tormented by this demon that doesn't care about her at all and just wants to see her go through as much suffering as possible. It was just really hard to stand there and watch. But eventually she went limp after about 25 minutes of fighting, and she laid down probably for another 15 minutes, just didn't move at all. When she finally came to, she just was really incoherent and kind of confused. All of a sudden, when she started realizing what had happened, she started thanking everyone. There's, by this point, probably about 20 people around her praying for her. And she was just going like this to everyone. Thank you so much. So we helped her up and brought her like some water and a chair, and she began to explain through an interpreter just what she had gone through. And she began to say how 4 years ago this evil spirit entered her and caused her all this pain in her stomach. She said that the spirit wouldn't let her eat anything more than a little handful of food, or else she would vomit. And she said just for the last 4 years she's had, uncontrollable just stomach pain, unbearable stomach pain that was nonstop. And she even said how her family had taken her to the hospital for probably like 3 or 4 times, I think she said, and the doctors couldn't find anything wrong with her, and they said the only thing that we can do is just have surgery done on you and cut into you and see if we can see anything wrong. But they didn't have enough money, so they were trying to save enough money to try to have this surgery done to see if they could just help heal her stomach. It was amazing because she began to cry as she started explaining how while she was laying on the ground, she believed that this God that we were telling her about, Jesus, came to her and lifted her up and just touched her stomach, and then he went away. And then shortly later she said how he had come back to her and he just said, "You don't need to worry about that anymore because I've taken care of it." And she was just struggling to get through telling us in joyful tears how for the first time in 4 years she didn't feel any stomach pain in her stomach, and this Jesus had set her free from this evil spirit and the pain that she was feeling. After we would pray for people and after we would preach, we would always go to a nearby church and eat dinner. By this time it was like 2 a.m. And this woman had run home and woken up her husband and her mom and her 2 children who lived with her, and they tracked down what church we went to and where we were in this little village, and ended up sitting down with us and having a meal. And she ate a whole meal with us, and her husband was going crazy because he was just saying how, man, for the last 4 years she hasn't eaten anything like 1/5 this size, and he was just like, I can't believe it. She doesn't have any pain, and she's so joyful, and I haven't seen her like this ever. I mean, for a really long time. And he just says, Jesus has healed my wife. This is amazing. Um, and let's see, where am I? It was just, man, it just really, obviously, deeply impacted me to think that this Jesus that I live for in America and I'm devoting my life to can do these miraculous things. Just made me, without a doubt, it just made me want to do stuff like that for the rest of my life and just devote my life to that. So I guess just a quote that I think is interesting is William Wilberforce. He says, having heard all of this, you may choose to look the other way, but you can never say again that you did not know. And then in Mark chapter 16, verse 15 through 18, it says, go into all the world and preach the good news to all of creation. And these signs will accompany those who believe. In my name they will drive out demons. And they will place their hands on the sick and they will get well. So, thanks.